Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the spring address. My name is Stephanie Pope. I'm the Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance, and thank you everybody for attending. If everyone can, well, everybody has found their seats, it looks like, so we're all good there. I don't have to do any directing. I hope everybody was able to get a cookie and some lemonade or water before the event started, but if you didn't, feel free to grab some after we're done. They'll be there for as long as they last. They're very delicious, so they might not last very long at the end. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Chancellor Beebe.
Morning, everyone. It's good to see you. We almost got some people on the front row, but not quite. Thanks, everyone, for making time to attend today. I really do appreciate it. It feels balmy out there after yesterday. I've got to get used to this, I suppose, but it's a bit of a challenge. Happy spring semester. We're almost about to start. I know, it's exciting, isn't it? All right. That's what happens when you don't get people coffee in the morning. Sorry. I'm really glad to be here today. I hope everybody had a safe and restful winter break. I really do hope you took some time to unplug and spend time with family and friends and enjoy yourselves as much as you possibly could over the break. I went to England to surprise my dad for his 80th birthday. I won't tell you what he said when he first saw me, but it rhymes with, no, I won't tell you what it rhymes with. But he was really shocked that I was there. It was wonderful to be home for 3 days. They had 1.5 inches of snow and the country closed down for a day. So I guess that's like being in New Orleans. But it was good to travel. I hope anyone that traveled enjoyed that. I'd also want to say, though, the university doesn't actually close during the break, and I just want to acknowledge and thank all those folks, colleagues, who are here over the winter break, keeping the university going, keeping it heated, keeping it safe so that we could return here. So just join me in thanking all those folks. I also want to thank those who are involved currently in J-term. We have students taking classes right now, so I think from what I hear, that's going well, so that's excellent. And obviously preparing for a new semester, the students will get here pretty soon. The transfer students get here on Friday, I think, for their orientation, so they're almost here. Looking forward to that. I'm really excited for the spring semester to start. I'm going to give some remarks here, then we're going to hear from some of our cabinet colleagues. A few of them are not here today. Betsy Morgan is out, and also Alison Ziegelman are not here, but there's others who are going to speak in their stead, so I appreciate them doing that. And then I'll wrap up with a few more remarks, and then we'll open it up to questions. Okay. I would like to ask if there are any new employees who started after the fall address to please stand up so we can see you. Any new employees? All right. I would like to personally welcome you to UWL. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. I've known some of you already and working with you. You have made a good decision to join this wonderful university. I think if you don't know folks well, you will get to know them. I can tell you everyone is welcoming, everyone is supportive, and this is a very collegial campus. So I'm looking forward to getting to know you. Welcome, and thank you for the work that you're going to do for the rest of the academic year. Without excellent new folks, without dedicated veterans and those who have been here a while, we couldn't be successful. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. I also want to specifically ask my new Chief of Staff, Stacey Twite, to please stand up so you can actually see her, for those of you who don't know her. Now, Stacey did start on September the 16th and has been very busy taking an active role in coordinating our cabinet, which is sometimes a bit of a challenge, interacting with legislators during the election season, and working with the University of Wisconsin System Administration. And she'll also be leading our strategic planning process, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. I'm really glad to have Stacey here. She really has helped me enormously. She's helped this institution, and we are very fortunate to have her with us. So thanks very much, Stacey, for all you've done and all you'll continue to do. As we start this semester, I thought it was important that we reflect on some of the successes we've had in the academic year so far. So I'm just going to go through a few points, not too many, but a few. Firstly, I want to talk about our record first-year class that we had in the fall. That was fantastic. It set us up for success, and I want to just thank the admissions team, Corey, and all the folks for the excellent work, and all of you that help us recruit such an excellent first-year class. Thanks, Corey, and everyone. We also have a new dining option on campus called the A9 Eatery, which supports students, staff, and faculty with specific dietary needs. If you haven't been over there, I would suggest that you check it out. I've been over there for lunch a couple of times. The food's really good, and I know it makes a big difference for our students and faculty and staff who eat there, so thank you for that. Also, rankings are not everything, but rankings are important, and we were ranked #2 public university in Wisconsin, according to Niche. That's really important to us. We are still one of the best universities in this region, and I think that is really important as we tell our story to prospective students, to our friends in the state legislature, and businesses and local organizations that UWL is a top-ranked university in Wisconsin, in the region, and in my opinion, one of the gems of this great state. I think we should be very proud of that. We also launched 2 new high-impact majors, engineering, physics, and data science, to deliver new opportunities for the people of Wisconsin, for our students, based on academic excellence and workforce needs of the state. I'm very excited about those new programs. We also had the largest philanthropic gift in the university's history from our former colleague, Dr. Bob Hetzel, who I know is listening in. He texted me this morning, said he's going to be listening in. And we also had a record one day for UWL. I'd like to thank all of those involved with bringing in those large gifts and those supports from all of you. Thank you very much. In athletics, we have some of our teams did exceptionally well. All of our teams are very strong. Our women's soccer team won the WAAC title and got to the playoffs, and so did our football team. I enjoyed watching those games many times. They were wonderful. And our men's cross country won the national championship. Well done to them. And we've had some region award winners from the UWL family, and Stacey Narcotta-Welp will talk more about that and those being honored. My sincere congratulations to all those winners. But of course, for me, the highlight of last semester was attending my first commencement ceremony in December, when over 600 students graduated from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. For those of you who were not there, it was a wonderful, wonderful event. And there are some folks who question the importance of higher education, the value of a college degree. Well, if you're in that room, if you're in the La Crosse Center, and you're at that commencement ceremony, every single student in that room, every single family member, and every single friend of the family that was there understands the importance of a higher education degree. It was amazing. And I think it just is a testament to all of you. Each of those students was successful because of their hard work and their effort, but they were also successful because of dedicated faculty, amazing staff, and all of us who helped to make their dreams come true. So I think that is a wonderful thing. We should celebrate that. I also thought you might like to hear some of the things that I've been up to in the last 6 months, but I'll keep it really brief. I've been really impressed with everything that I've seen, of course. I've also been pretty busy with community engagement meetings. I've had over almost 60 meetings with different groups in the city and around. And I want to say thank you to one person in particular who's made my job a lot easier, and that's Lisa Klein. Is Lisa here? Thank you, Lisa, for everything you do in community engagement. We've been all over the region. I won't even mention all the places we've been to, but it's been amazing. And I'll tell you what I've heard when I've been out for those meetings. I've heard nothing but positive opinions about this great university. From local businesses to civic organizations to chambers of commerce around, everyone talks about the amazing work that this university does for the community, for our local businesses, for the needs of the community. They have a very high opinion of our students. They want more of their students coming into their businesses to work. I've met with Quick Trip, I've met with Dairyland Electric, I've met with so many companies. They want our students. They want our students because they're so good, they're so prepared to be successful. And a data point that I think shows how influential we're being in the community. About just under 10% of our students come from the La Crosse County region. About 30% of our students stay in the region after they graduate. That's important to the success of this region. I think that's an important statistic that we need to talk more about. Our students are coming, they are having an amazing experience, and they are staying, entering the workforce, and being good community members. That's really important. I've also made a lot of legislative connections since I arrived 6 months ago. I've met multiple times with our local delegation. Each one of them is very supportive of UWL. They are advocating for this institution. They're advocating for all of you. And I want to thank them for their support. They are in session right now. They are very busy. I've met with lawmakers across the political spectrum. I've been to Madison and met with folks there, and I'm going to be doing a lot of that as I move forward. Everybody understands what a gem this institution is. Everybody understands that. They are very supportive. This is really important. I've enjoyed that. I've also developed relationships with the University of Wisconsin system, our fellow system chancellors and others from the other universities, and I've been impressed with the work that they've done and the work that we can do together. We've also been reflecting on the Deloitte report, with Wisconsin looking at how they can improve higher education. And of course, what I spent the most time, I think, is learning more about our campus. I've met with many, many units across campus. I've met with shared governance leaders. I've met with faculty in multiple sessions. I enjoyed every single one of them, just so you know. And what I heard, these are some of the things that I heard. There are some challenges. The challenges that people talked about when I visited in March have been reaffirmed in the conversations that I've had. And you probably know what they are. Compensation, career progression, workload concerns, and others. But what I've also heard, time and time again, is the pride that people take in their work. The pride in the work that they do every single day, be they faculty or staff. The professionalism with which they carry out their duties every single day, sometimes with balancing multiple challenges in their lives. I've also heard and seen how collegial folks are in some of these meetings. When someone says something that's funny or provocative, someone says, oh, there they go again. And it's funny. I'm not going to point out who those people are, but some of them are in the room. But my point is, there's a collegial, professional, courteous, but also engaging, funny, and wonderful community here. That has been so evident to me in all the meetings that I've had. And people are pretty candid. I like that, seriously. What I've also seen is everyone here is student-centered. All of our colleagues talk about how can we support our students? What can we do to give them the best education that we can and support their needs? I hear that time and time again. This is what UWL does so well. So I want to thank you for all of that work that you do. I've enjoyed going to lots of athletic events on campus, engaging again with football and trying to understand the rules as best I can. I still can't understand what's going on half the time. My father told me, you know, that's not really football. We're watching football right now. I had to watch Man United play Liverpool. It was kind of interesting. First time in 20 years I'd seen that. They're still as bad as each other. Anyway. But I've been to lots of other events on campus, art openings and other things. And I just hear wonderful things all the time and see wonderful things. And one of my favorite things that I've done this past semester, other than walking around campus and talking to folks, is I try every week to go to Whitney Center to have lunch with students. The food's really good, mind you. The food's really good. Those cookies, I tell you, so watch out. And when I sit with students, I talk to them about how their semester's going, what's going on in their lives. And I try to always ask them, so what made you decide to come to UWL? And why do you enjoy it here? What do you enjoy about it? And I will tell you that I hear the same, I've said this before perhaps to some of you, but not all of you. I hear the same three things pretty much every time. They come here because of our high quality academics and excellent academic programs. That's what interests them. They also come here because they really like the city and the campus, the feel of the place. And here's the last thing, they say this, and they say it in this, and nearly all of them said it the same way. This campus feels homey. That's how they say it. And we could sit here and unpack what that means but it feels homey to them. And the reason why it feels homey to them is because of all of you. I will tell you, that really matters. That really makes a difference. So whenever I have those lunches, I always walk out feel energized and excited and thankful that we have such a strong campus. I'm just really, really excited about that. So there's some of the things that I've learned. So what's coming up in 2025? Well, from talking about that, let's talk about Workday. Workday, I'm excited about this opportunity. And there's a lot of work ahead for staff, especially in IT and HR and business services. I want to thank them all, particularly those who are involved in the trenches right now doing all that work. It is a lot of work. My ask of all of you, please, is for grace and understanding. It is going to be a big lift to get this moving forward. We'll all be learning, but let's learn in a positive, excitable way. I'm confident it will go well. I want to thank the ATP team for all the work that they're doing. I encourage all of you to take the early training that's offered. Sometimes do it early, then you can go back and do it again. That's what I'm going to be doing. Also in 2025, we have the legislative session coming up. This is going to be my first one in Wisconsin. So I'm buckling up and getting ready for it. We're going to be advocating, of course, for Prairie Springs. This is absolutely critical. We've revamped our website. We have letters from community partners. And we are working hard on making sure that we can get Prairie Springs over the finish line. There is a lot of work involved with that. I'm so grateful for the support we have received from the Seven Rivers community, from LADCO, the Chamber of Commerce, the Seven Rivers Alliance, local businesses, civic organizations who are helping us move that across the finish line. It's really important. As you all know, we also have a system budget request into the governor. We will know where the governor lands on that budget request when he gives his budget address in the middle of February. We don't know right now what's going to happen with that. It's hard to say right now what level of funding we may receive. Things are in flux. We don't know. There's a political process. We have to be attentive to that. We have to be attuned to that. We will be very involved. I will be very involved in that process as much as I possibly can, being in Madison, myself, advocating for the university and advocating for Prairie Springs and all the things that we need to be more successful. I am not shy about advocating. I also know that you sometimes have to work extra hard just to move a couple of inches. All right? And I'll be doing that to the best of my ability. What's helping us is that we have a good reputation. In fact, we have a stellar reputation in the state. That will help us. If we get the funding that we are requesting, we will be able to work on compensation increases. We will be able to look at market and merit pools. What we can do will be determined by how much money we receive in the budget. So until we know what that is, it's going to be difficult to do anything. So I please ask for a little patience as we work through that. We need to find funds to stabilize our mental health and expand the capacity of our access center. That's really important to the future of this campus. We need to make sure that we are accessible to students by maintaining affordability. As you know, the system president, Jay Rothman, has said, if we get the $855 million, there will be no base tuition increase. That's important. That's really important. There will be other areas that we'll focus on as well, but there's some of the key areas. I look forward to the work ahead. I'm optimistic that we can make the best case possible. It's an investment in the future of Wisconsin and what kind of state do we want to be going forward. There are choices out there. There are choices out there. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to working with all members of the state government to see that request move forward. I also want to talk about strategic planning. This has been a topic that I've heard a lot about on campus since I arrived, actually before I arrived, and I can sense excitement about this, and I'm excited to get started. This is really good to hear. In the next few weeks, we are launching a process to create a 5-year plan. We will take this calendar year to write and develop the plan, with a goal to having a final plan in place by December. So there's going to be a lot of work this year. I ask you all to be involved to the best of your ability so that we can make this plan successful. I think I've said this statistic before, but 70% of strategic plans never get operationalized. You spend all this time doing it, and then you never do it. We're going to be in the 30%. I will guarantee you that. When we get the plan, we're going to enact the plan and make sure that we're successful. We are forming a small executive committee. I've sent invitations out to those folks, and every single one of them have said yes so far, so I'm excited about that. We'll announce that in due course. We're going to have a large steering committee that will be representative from across campus and include all the governance groups, and I'll be talking to those governance groups soon about that. And I'm very excited that we have co-chairs for the strategic planning process. Stephanie Twite, Chief of Staff, will be a co-chair, and I'm not sure if she's, I did see her in here, but she went out to get coffee. Dr. Whitney George, can you stand up? Whitney is the other co-chair. Please join me in thanking them for leading this effort. So thank you both very much. This strategic plan needs to be aspirational. Where do we want to be in 5 years' time? We need to make sure we elevate our excellence so that we are stronger in 5 years than we are now, that we remain an institution or university of first choice in the state of Wisconsin, where students and families want to send their sons and daughters to college. We want to be a place that's inclusive, where everyone can be successful. It's really important. We need to be mindful of the changes that are going on in higher education. Some of the threats and opportunities that are out there, there are real ones out there. We have to be mindful about that. So I'm very, very excited about that. We'll be working with JPB, of course, on strategic planning and others to make sure that we move forward, so that in 5 years' time, we can look back and say, wow, we went from here, and we went to here, and we're better for it. I'm excited about that. So that's some of the things we're looking forward in the year ahead. Now, I've also asked our Vice Chancellors to share some of their updates from their respective areas. So I'm going to now turn it over to Sandy, who's speaking for Betsy, which I don't envy you that task.
Thank you, Chancellor Beebe. If those who don't know me, I'm Sandy Grunwald. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. And Provost Morgan wanted me to relay her regrets that she's not able to be here today. Her partner's having knee replacement surgery this morning, so she's with him. So she wanted me to share that with you. But I'm pleased to provide you some highlights and updates in the Academic Affairs Division. So first slide. So first of all, I want to share with you some outstanding enrollment numbers. So as the Chancellor mentioned, we have extremely strong recruitment of students here to UWL, but we also have very strong retention numbers. Students stay here and they graduate from UWL. So the first to second year retention rate is 86.7%. So what that means is that the students who came in fall 2023 as new first year students, 86.7% of them stayed and came back the following fall semester. So is that high or low? Well, let me tell you, it's very high. In the UW system, we're only second to UW-Madison. We're above all the other universities there. The other comprehensive universities have an average retention rate first to second year of 77.6%. So us being at 86.7, almost 87%, that's a very strong number. So we all can be very proud of that. Students also, between the second and third year, about 92% of them come back. From those who came back their second year, about 92% of them come back their third year. So that's, again, a very strong figure here for UWL. Many individuals here at UWL are involved in these retention efforts. Advisors, instructors, staff from all divisions at UWL. I believe that each individual, all of you sitting here today, if you take a moment and think about the past year and how your interaction, maybe directly or maybe behind the scenes, really maybe affected at least one student, one UWL student, and you helped make that difference and helped that specific student. As the Chancellor mentioned, that it's kind of home away from home here, and all of you are responsible for that, so I thank you. Also, happy to report that our spring enrollment numbers are very strong. Students have registered for classes. We're 1.6% higher in enrollment numbers than we were at this time last spring. And last spring, we were even 3% higher than the year before. So those numbers are continuing to be very strong. So yay, yay for all of us. Yep. So we're doing good. So if you go to the next slide. So helping to maintain our strong retention at UWL, I'm sure, is our advanced focus on advising and what I consider kind of our coordinated care network system approach to student success, retention, and graduation. There's a lot of things I could point out about our advising here at UWL, but I'm going to just point out a few of them. The first one is our Master Advisor training that we have. We started this certification program in January of 2021, so it's been 4 years now. It's still going strong. It's a professional development opportunity that includes an intensive training in the concepts, information, and relational processes associated with best practices for advising our UWL students. So who's partaken in that? 180 faculty members so far have done this training and have this Master Advisor certification, and 50 non-instructional staff here at UWL have also done that. So quite a few individuals have partaken in this. No doubt this is benefiting our students. So I want to thank, I don't know if she's here or not, but Jamie Schweiger. She actually developed this program here at UWL and continues to offer it regularly. It's just another group of about 20 individuals who just completed that training this week. So it's still going very strong. Another aspect of our enhanced advising is our focus on proactive advising. We really work hard to reach out to students, provide them the information and support they need before they start experiencing major difficulties, because sometimes that's really hard then for students to recover from. Additionally, we're working a lot on trying to prepare our students for registration so that they register on time. Another thing that really helps students progress towards graduation is registering for those classes on time. So again, beyond the countless, and I mean countless, individual advising sessions that professional advisors and faculty advisors have with students, we've also had a really large focus on communicating to students about registration holds they might have, and making sure they know they have their holds and those certain holds, and then also helping them, if possible, to get those holds removed so that they can register on time. We're also working really hard to help students overcome any financial barriers they might have that are preventing them from registering for the next semester. Again, lots of other things we're doing, but those are some really big things we focused on. I just wanted to point out, too, that the Navigate system that we have here has been really an essential tool for organizing and facilitating all of these reach outs and communication and organization of our coordinated care network here at UWL. So I really want to extend an appreciation to everyone who has worked to adopt the system and who regularly use the system. It really helps in our retention, persistence, graduation efforts here at UWL. So thank you for that. So if you go to the next slide. Okay, a couple more initiatives. General education program. We have a new general education program coming to UWL in summer 2025 officially, though really the students that are going to be most impacted are those new first-year students that are coming this fall. So it starts summer, but really this fall is kind of our new start of it. So we've been doing the last kind of preparations this spring to make sure that it's all ready to go. I want to just acknowledge Dr. Brian Kopp. He's our general education coordinator, so he's been working a lot this last year to get all those logistics figured out. The General Education Committee, too, members of that have been working really hard. Greg, you're shaking your head. Yep, Faculty Senate Committee doing lots of work. And then also, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to our Records and Registration Unit. They also have done a lot of work to make the changes and things that are necessary to try to make sure this rollout goes as seamless as possible. So thank you to all of them for all of their work. Financial aid and FAFSA is another topic. Some good news this time around FAFSA. FAFSA is really critical to students receiving federal financial aid. I'm sure you all likely heard last year FAFSA was significantly overhauled, and there resulted in some major delays in getting aid offers out to students. So many thanks to our financial aid unit for all their work. And as soon as we got the information from the federal government, we were able to make awards as quickly as possible, and that was a lot of work by them. Good news is that this year, things are looking positive, a little delayed, but still things are going okay, and we're looking to make aid offers on track as we normally have in the past, so that's looking positive this year. So 2 more things. So if you go to the last slide. Yep. Okay. Generative AI, we've all heard about it. There's a lot of interesting work that Provost Morgan wanted me to highlight about this. A lot of work going on around AI here at UWL. First of all, academic departments are discussing how AI is impacting their teaching. So that's been happening for a couple semesters now. And there's lots of discussion going on the appropriate and ethical uses of AI within their discipline. So appropriate uses and then also ethical uses. So a lot of work going on there in academic departments. Also, there's lots of conversations happening about AI in regards to teaching and learning in our CATL unit, the Center for Advancement of Teaching and Learning. Happy to report that there's going to be another AI summit here at UWL in May. So, and that'll be open to all campus, not just instructors, but all campus to engage in AI as necessary. So again, that'll be in May, so watch for information on that. And then furthermore, wanted to let you know that just kind of happened yesterday, but with a lot of work over the last year, is Dr. Marie Moeller and Dr. Whitney George. They just submitted yesterday kind of step 2 of a 2-step process in hopes to secure a $400,000 grant from the NSF. It's a university-wide collaborative grant. It's focusing on AI training for students to prepare them for the workforce. So fingers crossed that that all comes through, and we'll give you a lot more information if all comes through on that. So watch for that. And lastly, as my role as the Accreditation Liaison Officer here at UWL, I wear that hat too, I'd be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to remind you that UWL is up for our accreditation process, to reaffirm our accreditation is kind of the official words. And so Higher Learning Commission, they're coming. They're coming in April of 2026. So a lot of work going on right now. Dr. Tim McAndrews is working hard on our assurance document and others. So you'll probably hear from him and things about getting us all ready for our HLC process. So mark your calendars. I think it's April 20th and 21st of April. HLC will be on campus. So those are the academic affairs highlights I wanted to share with you today, and I hope you all have a wonderful spring semester. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, again. I'm Stephanie Pope, again. I'm going to go through just a few items with you this morning, if you want to go to the first slide for us. I'm going to talk a little bit more detail about the budget request and the budget timeline. As Chancellor Beebe mentioned, the biennial budget request is for $855 million from the Universities of Wisconsin system to the legislature. This includes a few things in it. So it's got some key tenets of what we're asking for and how these dollars would be used. So you'll hear about this as we go through this budget process. You'll hear President Rothman talk about these key tenets, and these are the areas that we're focusing on. So it's increasing affordability, preserving accessibility, developing talent, ensuring quality, and investing in innovation. There are a lot of details behind what all of that means. If you're interested in it, we can talk offline. Y'all don't need to hear all of that today. Just know that that ask is going, and we're working very hard on that request with the system. The point that you'll also hear President Rothman talk about is that we are 43rd in the nation for the funding for per student funding, and our neighboring states are all within the top 10, which makes it very difficult for us. So that's a really key point for us. It is very key for the Universities of Wisconsin system that this biennial budget go through and we get as much of that as we can, both for us as an institution and for our students if we are able to pass that through and have a 0% base budget tuition increase. Other key dates on there, as the Chancellor mentioned, February 18th is when the governor's budget will be released. That will tell us a lot about how this will progress and then the legislative response to that. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that. In April, the Board of Regents will act on auxiliary rates, and then in June, they will act on the annual operating budget. They split those apart so that they can focus on them individually. But that's the typical timeline for our budget process. And then in June or July, depending on how long that conversation happens in the legislature, that's when the legislative action would happen on our budget, and we would know something more definitive. Between now and then, we'll hear a lot of things, and we will react to that and prepare for that as we know things more concretely. Next slide. I didn't know that the Chancellor was going to be as supportive of the Workday project this morning as he was going to be, so that's very exciting for us on the ATP project. I have 2 slides on this. So first of all, I want to thank everybody on campus who has already attended either our campus-based informational sessions or some of the info sessions that have been prepared by the ATP central group. That's really important that you go to those. It's really important that you're engaged in those. And so it's very exciting to me that we've had such great participation in those. I also want to thank the ATP readiness team who have been working very, very hard, some of you for several years, in getting this campus ready for the ATP transition. I'm mainly focused on Workday because that hits my 2 areas with HR and finance, but there are a lot of ancillary systems that are incorporated in that also. And I would say our campus is the best prepared. I'm a little bit biased, but we're the best prepared for the transition to Workday because of this readiness group and how committed they are to making sure that this is a good transition for everybody. There will be some bumps, but they're working very, very hard to make sure that this campus is the best prepared of all of our campus colleagues. A couple of things on this slide. This is a lot of information. You don't need all of it, but just some things for you to know. The security role mapping exercise, that's completed, and what that is giving each and every one of you a specific security role in the Workday system based on the job you will be doing in that system. That's a really critical piece of that because that's what controls what you can see and what you can't see in that system. So that has been completed by our finance and HR colleagues. The other thing that I want to point out on this slide is the cutover planning. Cutover is the process where we turn off our current systems while we turn on the new systems, and you have access to neither of those systems in that cutover process, which is a super fun time to be in HR and finance because it means you can't do a whole lot, and people get kind of annoyed that you can't do a whole lot because they want to get their work done. We're working very hard to map that process and what that's going to mean for our campus specifically. There are some dates at the system level that they need things done by, and then we are mapping that also for us and what that means for our particular staff here. Those are going to be some really important dates. That information is going to come out to you soon, but know that we're trying to minimize that impact as much as possible. But it's an inevitable process, a part of changing ERP systems. And then training, the last bullet on there, the training is starting in March. That is a critical piece for you all to get access into that system and to learn what it is that you need to be doing in the system. Everyone will have some level of training whether or not you have current access into our financial systems right now, and that's because you are going to be interacting with the system from an HR aspect. So everyone will have some level of training. It might be itty bitty tiny, or it might be quite a bit, but know that that's going to be customized to you and the security roles that you are assigned in the new system. Next slide. These are some of our upcoming info sessions. These are produced by our campus colleagues in the ATP readiness team. So make note of these. If you want more information on this, you can talk to Julia in HR or Mark in business services to know exactly what these dates are and what the topics are. But just here they are for you today if you want to scribble them down. As the Chancellor mentioned, July 7th, so I'm not going to talk about these a lot, I'm just going to talk about some other stuff while this is up there and you write those down. July 7th is our go live date. That's when it's open to every single person in the UW system, which means our campus staff who have to do some final prep won't have access to the system until July 7th, when everybody else does. So they're going to be trying to do some cutover final stuff that we have to do while they're trying to help you all learn the system. So that's where that grace comes in, and that a little bit of patience as we navigate the system that will be new, pretty much new to all of us at the same time. So that will be an exciting time for us. I'm very excited for it. I've worked in the Workday system for a very short period of time. It is a great system, so this is very exciting for all of us. So next slide, please. Capital planning. These are a few of the capital planning updates that I have. Graph Main Hall, we are on to the second phase of that particular project. That means a whole bunch of people moved back into their spaces and a whole bunch of people moved out of their spaces. This is the larger portion of the, excuse me, of this project, which is expected to be complete in August of 2025. Excuse me. The parking ramp is on time and on budget, and it's going for an April 2026 completion. The University Police Edition, you'll see, has started to actually take shape as the folks who are doing the bricklaying have come and started to do that particular piece of the project. There was a little delay in that aspect as they were trying to get some folks who are specialized in that area. So that is looking great right now. The couple that are in process, we're waiting for somebody to do something for us is really what we're waiting for on those. We are all ready to go. Scott Schumacher and his staff are just at that line waiting for somebody to give us the go-ahead. So the Res Hall elevators, we're waiting on DFD, the Division of Facilities Development, to start an architect selection process. We expect that in March, and we would expect Board of Regent and State Building Commission approvals in April of 2026, with construction starting in 2027, completion in 2028. So a little bit of a timeline, but we are waiting for that one piece that's going to happen in March, hopefully, fingers crossed. The Murphy Learning Center, that I know has been one that folks are just ready to have done. We are also ready to have it done. This is another one that we're waiting on the DFD. We expect them to give their approval for architect selection in February of this year, so just a few weeks, hopefully, they will get that done, with design happening this spring and summer, Board of Regents and State Building Commission approval in the fall and winter of 2025, with work expected to be completed in the spring of 27. So again, the process you have to go through, but we're waiting on the DFD for that next step. And then the Prairie Springs completion project, really there we're just waiting for the legislature to say, yes, please move ahead, you are approved, here's the money we're going to give you to start that process. And then we have to go through all of those steps again, but that's really a major one for us. There are other projects out there. We are working on completing those when we get funding, we get enumeration, we get whatever the steps are, but these are kind of the major ones that I know folks are waiting to hear a little bit of information on. So that is those. Is this my last slide? Yeah. I have one more slide. So before you, oh, she switched it. This is our newest recruit for the police department. This is our soon to join us on February 13th is this puppy who does not have a name yet. There's going to be a name choosing process, but he is a double doodle and will be joining us as an emotional support canine assigned to Officer Began. It is a very, very cute puppy, and he is very lovable. So already spoiled and will be immensely spoiled on campus. So look for this new officer and the naming process to come very soon. I think he's going to get a lot of requests to go to folks' offices. So we'll make sure he gets a little bit of training first, because there's a lot of stuff that a puppy needs to learn before they're allowed to start talking to people. But I just wanted everyone to know that he was born, he was selected, and he is ready to come to campus very soon to start helping to support our students and our staff too, but our students too. And I believe Stacy Narcutta-Welp is after me.
Nothing like following a cute picture of a puppy. Like, I mean, what else does anybody want to be interested in today besides the cute puppy? No. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share some updates about the Division of Diversity and Inclusion. Before I get started, I want to take a moment to thank each and every member of our unit for the work that they do fostering student success, our retention efforts here, building the powerful partnerships that our division has with folks across campus to increase belonging here. So again, if you all would join me just in a round of applause for that staff that does this hard work and doesn't often get recognized. I also just want to share, while we're still continuing to gather data and we're only halfway through the year, many of our units are already hitting historic numbers in terms of numbers of students served, some of our programming pieces, and so it's just been a wonderful year so far, and we are really looking forward to that programming into this next year. So with that, I just wanted to give some general updates. I know many of you are aware that our offices have moved and relocated while Graf Main Hall is under construction. And I just wanted to add this in here, Wimberley 412, because there are many of our services from a compliance perspective that folks may be looking for as a semester gets going. And so we just wanted to highlight that we are in Wimberley 412. Another couple of individuals I just want to highlight because they weren't quite on board when we had the spring address. He's already had the opportunity to stand up, but Dr. Nevin J. Hurd, if you wouldn't mind standing up, is our Assistant Vice Chancellor for Diversity and Inclusion. And also, unfortunately, she's ill today, but Sarah Jackson, who is currently filling our roles for Title IX and affirmative action, is in our space. So please stop by 412 and introduce yourselves to them if you have not. The other thing that I want to point out that we are currently working on building out within our division is a newer office on campus. The Universities of Wisconsin System Administration has had a big focus on compliance and some of the risk management pieces, and so our division will be building out a new office to help focus on those things and coordinate things as it relates to that. So stay tuned for more information and updates about that, but I wanted to share that because that is being built out in the coming months. We also have quite a bit of programming going on this spring, wanting to remind folks our very popular UWL Celebrates dates. We have them set for the spring, as you can see up here on the slides. So we will be celebrating Black History Month pretty soon here, as well as Women's History Month, Asian American Pacific Islander Month. So mark those dates. They're hosted here in this particular space, and seats go quick. We will be hosting our Social Justice Week again this year at the beginning of April with a focus on moving the work forward into a new era. So more to come on that, and stay tuned. We will be focusing and doing some work on campus climate and research with that you will see coming out as well. And then another piece that I want to talk about a little bit here in terms of programming is our second annual discussion project. There are many people that I see out here in the audience who engaged in our first annual discussion project, which is where we brought folks in from the University of Wisconsin-Madison to lead folks through a discussion protocol training and thinking about discussion in your classroom when you have difficult, contentious, and complex topics. And how could you use these protocols to create an inclusive classroom and to foster dialogue and discussion, as well as not only faculty, but staff who engaged in this, who can then use those practices as they're working with their student groups. We have a cohort of folks who have currently been using those protocols in their classroom this year, and they have a community of practice and have been reporting out great results as a as a result of that particular training. And so I encourage you, if you are interested in that at all, we will be sending information out soon for that. And I want to give a shout out to our Center for Transformative Justice because they wrote a grant to the Wisconsin Institute of Citizenship and Civil Discourse and got a huge grant that's going to pay for the whole thing. So we're very excited to offer that again. Stay tuned for more details with that and the discussion project. And then lastly, I have the great pleasure of announcing the Board of Regents Diversity Award winner for this year. And when I say this year, that means the entire system. So many awards that come out from system leadership, each campus gets to have an award winner and they are recognized, but for this particular award, there is only one award winner who is an individual and then a program that is a program award winner. And UWL has had 2 folks win this prestigious award in the last 5 years. The first being our Vice Chancellor Emerita, Barbara Stewart, and now Dr. Adele Lozano, who is also a faculty emerita. Dr. Lozano's research focuses on the experience of our Latinx students, how they build spaces of belonging, and especially in the Student Affairs Administration realm, how professionals can build spaces of belonging and working with these students. And I wanted to share a personal story about Adele, and honestly, I didn't think about it, Chancellor Beebe, until you were talking about our campus and the homey, welcoming secret sauce. But I came here because my partner got a job here, and when we were considering moving, it was kind of like, do we really want to move to this new place? What is this place? We were currently at the University of Iowa at the time. Adele is a native Iowan and had been in Iowa and worked at multiple institutions and was now working at UWL. She was actually the first faculty or staff person that we both met, and certainly for me, because I didn't go on the interview that my partner did. And I remember it was that conversation with Adele at the Root Note that made us believe this was a place for us to put down roots. And so true to her character in winning this award, she is a person who, whether it was in her scholarship or her daily life, builds belonging. And I'm not sure I would be here if it weren't for her. So we just want to recognize her. Dr. Lozano, I don't know if you're watching, but thank you for all of the contributions that you have provided to this institution and the students who benefit from your work and will continue to benefit from your work. So thank you very much. And with that, I will turn it over to Vice Chancellor Vitaliano Figueroa.
Good morning, good morning. Once again, my name is Vitaliano Figueroa, and I didn't have the foresight to put a slide regarding our space at Wimberley. We have moved from Graf Main Hall, and so we're at Wimberley 404. So I encourage you to stop on by, say hello to everybody, because there's a lot of great work happening in Wimberley. So with that, we're going to be continuing with our priorities as a division regarding health, wellness, and success of our students. So I wanted to share a couple of updates. As some of you may know, in previous years, we used Cognito to provide our faculty, staff, and students with simulation training regarding suicide prevention. Unfortunately, Cognito is no longer in place, and so we needed to look for a different program, a different way for us to train our faculty, staff, and students. Dr. Chris Champion, who is with us today, and she's right over there, worked with the UW system and UW-Madison to bring us new training using Canvas called Recognize, Respond, and Refer. This new suicide prevention training is actually available to our faculty and staff this week. It will be made available to our students in February, so I encourage you all to take a look at this course as it's an extremely important training that one should be a part of, and luckily enough, it only takes an hour of your time. So I encourage you to take a look at it when you have some time. Next, the next item I have is the student success coaching. In August 2024, our Dean of Students, Dr. Kara Oslin, and our Assistant Dean of Students, Amanda Abramson, which I believe they're here right over there in the back. They were awarded a Universities of Wisconsin grant to implement student success coaching on campus. Dr. Oslin and Amanda Abramson are working collaboratively with our Associate Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs, Dr. Sandy Grunwald, as well as our Director of the Academic Advising Center and Career Services, Becky Vianden, on this important project. We have 10 staff members from across the divisions who are being trained as success coaches. Each staff member will offer 5 hours of coaching each single week to support our students. And I'm going to say your name, and if you can, please stand to be recognized, and also equally as important, so everybody around the room can see the different success coaches that we have, so they can go ahead and refer them to you. Kyle Herberg and Haley Moe from Academic Advising and Career Services. They're online probably. Tanisha Petherbridge, Macy Cardy, and Amanda Abramson from the Student Life Office. Nuna Zhang from the Office of Multicultural Student Services. Caleb Colon Rivera from the Center for Transformative Justice. Angel Allen and Peter Nitsch from Athletics. And lastly, Amanda Kraft from University Centers. Student success coaching will partner with students to identify barriers standing in the way of our students to help them identify steps that they can take that are supportive of their personal growth and helping them achieve their goals while they're here at UWL. And then lastly, it's a new semester, and we have new students joining us for the spring semester. Imagine that. Corey and the admissions team were focused on supporting students who were interested in being a part of the UWL community for the spring semester. To that end, we will be joined this spring by 17 new international students. They represent the following countries: Bangladesh, Colombia, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Ecuador, India, Kenya, Malaysia, Myanmar, Pakistan, South Korea, and Turkey. I'd like to thank Heather Pearson, please, if you would, stand. Carolyn Bald. I thought I saw Carolyn. And Miranda Panzer for their leadership and commitment to increasing the international appeal of UWL. And then we will also be joined by 130 new transfer students, but please note that the initial goal was only 90. So they did a phenomenal job of exceeding the target. I'd like to thank Trevor Sprague, please stand. Alex Wagner Romero, and Michaela Robarge. And of course, the admissions office, because whether it's answering phones, emails, mailing projects, handling documents, or TREC, which is actually a great program, they've revamped it, everyone plays a part in recruiting, admitting, and enrolling the transfer class. We're fortunate to welcome another tremendous class of new students this spring. And lastly, I know he's not going to appreciate it, but I appreciate him. I'd like to thank our Assistant Vice Chancellor for Admissions and Recruitment, Corey Shoquest, for his partnership and leadership. And with that, I'll turn it over to Stacy Dwight.
Well, good morning, everybody. And to those who I haven't met, I look forward to meeting you. Stacey Dwight, the new Chief of Staff. So thank you to everyone who's given me a lot of grace and understanding as I learn. I've been on campus now for 4 months and look forward to meeting everybody else in due time. But thank you all for your grace and understanding as I learn UWL. It's been wonderful so far. So today I have the opportunity of sharing updates from the University Advancement and Alumni and Friends Foundation, our Vice Chancellor of Advancement and the President of the UWL Alumni and Friends Foundation, Alice Allison Ziegelman is unable to be here today as she is at a professional development conference, but she sends her best wishes and is looking forward to bringing back knowledge and ideas from the conference and a great start to the spring semester. So since our fall address, the foundation has been very busy. Just to share a few highlights, throughout this academic year, the foundation is awarding nearly $1.6 million in scholarships to students. And of course, as you all know, scholarships help to alleviate financial burdens for our students and allow them to excel in our studies. As the Chancellor mentioned, in October, our 5th annual One Day for UWL hit a milestone of raising over $500,000. These gifts went to over 169 different departments, programs, teams, and clubs, creating a positive impact throughout our community. On behalf of the foundation, I want to thank all of you for your involvement in this day and your support. This year, employee giving nearly doubled. This deserves great acknowledgement and thanks for your generosity. Please know that you are helping to lead by example and shaping a culture of philanthropy on our campus. Yeah, right on, advancement team in the back, okay. And of course, in November, we announced the university's largest gift ever, established by our own Bob Hetzel. Bob is contributing $2.5 million to establish the Bob Hetzel General Scholarship Fund and the Bob Hetzel Athletics Endowment, and to continue to support the Bob Hetzel Physical Therapy Scholarship Endowment. Bob's generosity will be transformational for the lives of many students and further extends his legacy in the UWL community. So Bob, wherever you are, thank you so much. For university advancement, two consistent priorities are supporting students and supporting all of you. While two separate priorities, it is important to recognize that they are not mutually exclusive, but instead have a positive correlation. The foundation supports faculty and staff through securing funds for program enhancement and working toward named faculty and staff roles. Faculty and staff, of course, impact hundreds, if not thousands, of students throughout their career, and the foundation continues the great work of supporting students through offering scholarship and alumni resources to new graduates. The completion of the Prairie Springs project remains a priority of UWL, and the foundation is supporting alumni events such as UWL in Madison on February 5th. If you haven't registered yet, get that done, which of course increases our visibility as key stakeholders in supporting this effort across Wisconsin. And I believe my last slide is a reminder to encourage students to apply for foundation scholarships by February 1st. I think that's next week. The calendar's ticking by, so please encourage students to do that. The foundation is also currently accepting board member recommendations through February 28th. Members should be excited and willing to contribute through a particular skill set and be active in philanthropy efforts. The foundation encourages you to reach out with donor impact and successful alumni stories. And if you have interest in sharing more about the amazing work your program is doing, the foundation asks you to consider being a guest speaker at a retiree breakfast, which occur at the first Thursday of each month throughout the academic year. Finally, as employees, we all have the opportunity to be a part of Eagles at Work, which celebrates employees who are either alumni and or a donor to the university. This is a great program to be a part of with several perks, so check that out. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to email or call the foundation. So that is it from me. And with that, I'll welcome back Chancellor Beebe, for some final thoughts. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, team. That was great to hear. I did forget at the start to thank a few folks for helping make this day successful. I do want to thank Chartwells for the food and setup, UCOM for all the work they're doing, and also University Centers for making sure that today's event went well. So please join me in thanking all those folks. Okay. In closing, I want to announce a few organizational changes that I'm making to be effective this summer. I've spent the last 6 months, as I just mentioned a little bit earlier, listening and learning a lot about our campus, being in community with the system leadership, other chancellors, higher education's best practices, and the campus as a whole. I'm continually reminded, reaffirmed of the exceptional quality of the work that all of you do. I've also seen how our existing structures can continue to adapt to meet the challenges that lie ahead. With the implementation of Workday, the new system coming soon, some operational decisions need to be made now to best prepare UWL for a smooth rollout this summer. With that in mind, I'm today announcing the following organizational changes that will take effect in July of this year. At this time, these are the only organizational changes that I plan to make for this year. So I'm just going to go through a couple with you here. Number one, admissions. Admissions will move from student affairs to the provost's office and academic affairs, reporting to Provost Betsy Morgan. Our strong and consistent enrollment is a crowning achievement in the current landscape of higher education. I believe that returning admissions to be closer to our academic affairs structure will further strengthen our academic excellence and align our new students with the strong academic programming UWL has to offer. I'm excited about that change. I look forward to working with that team on that. Number two, University Marketing and Communications will report directly to the Chief of Staff, Stacey Twide, within the Chancellor's office. As announced last April, Assistant Vice Chancellor Greg Reichert will retire on July the 5th. This change means that UConn will report to the Chancellor's office, and it aligns our communications and marketing work with the strategic priorities supported by the Chief of Staff. Our Assistant Vice Chancellor's retirement this coming July means that that position will be eliminated. So that will be effective in July as well. And the third one is, I'm pleased to announce that athletics will move from student affairs to report directly to me, effective in July. Athletics is a core part of the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse's brand. Not only do our strong athletic programs attract new students, alumni and donors, but also it is the front porch of the university and really does play to our service to our official motto, Mens Corpus Q, mind and body. A stronger tie to the Chancellor's office, in my opinion, ensures our athletic programs aligns with university and foundation priorities and its best practices, in my opinion, in higher education, if you look around. I think it plays to our strengths. I'm excited about this change and look forward to working with Kim Bloom and the entire athletics unit to strengthen our athletics programs and how we move forward. I'm excited about those changes. I do want to take a moment, though, to thank all those who helped me behind the scenes to do some of that work. That will be effective, as I said, in July, so things are going to stay the same for the rest of the academic year. But because of Work Day, we had to do those changes behind the scenes now so that we could launch it in July. We had to work with the system office to do that as well. So that's why I'm making these announcements now and not later this year. I do want to thank Vice Chancellor Figueroa for all his support and help with this transition. I think it's a good transition. I'm looking forward to that. UWL would not be successful without their dedication of all of our staff to our students and to our mission. I believe these three major changes will not only strengthen our work together, but also strengthen the institution. So I'm looking forward to those. There's going to be a lot of details to play out on that. I will be meeting with those three units this week to answer any specific questions that they may have about what this means for them. But I also want to say, please support those groups as they go through a transition. Transitions always could be challenging for some folks to deal with, but I'm confident that these are the right decisions, and I'm confident that we'll be successful with that. So I'm excited about the year ahead. There's a lot to do. There's a lot going on. I'll get to questions in a moment. We have a few minutes for questions in a moment, but I do want to say this. It is really important at a time of change in this country that we stay focused on our mission, we stay focused on our students and their success, and we remain good colleagues to one another during times of change. I'm so excited for the new semester to start. There's a lot to celebrate on this campus. Our students are returning. They're going to be excited to be back. The weather's going to be nicer. Thank goodness we didn't start yesterday. That would have been awful. We are optimistic about the budget. We are also realists that we have to work hard to tell our story each and every day. Each and every day we need to tell our story. I ask you each and every day to do your best in the work that you do and to support colleagues if they are facing challenges in their lives. I can't tell you how many people have talked to me about how somebody else helped them through a difficult time and what that meant to them. So be kind, be compassionate, maintain your academic excellence, and speak out and come to us with questions or concerns at any time. Our doors are always open. I'm now in Centennial Hall. It's lovely in there. I get to walk over down those 4 flights of stairs, get my steps in. It's too cold to go outside. I was out of breath yesterday. But thank you for what you do. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you. I think we have a microphone. We have one microphone, so please bear with us. And if you can just, if you ask a question, just say who you are so that people can know who you are. That would be helpful.
Hi, I'm Tracy Banning. I'm
Hello.
the ADA for the Educational Studies Department.
Great.
And I was just wondering if you heard about our award-winning theater department.
Yes.
At the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival, took home how many awards? A lot.
A lot, all right.
A lot. Just kind of further proving that we have the best theater department in
that's
Wisconsin
wonderful.
as well.
Well, congratulations. I really enjoyed going to the theater performances this past semester. So I saw for myself the quality of the work there. The students were great. They were so engaged. And that's just wonderful to hear. I hadn't heard specifically that, but I'm sure I'm going to get all the details, I would assume by the end of the day, please, about it. So thank you. Anyone else? I was going to say, at the front here, Patrick got a question. Just don't ask me what my favorite place that I ate at, okay? I don't want that question again.
Yes, Patrick Barlow, IRAP assessment coordinator. I'm curious, and I just hope the answer is that that you are getting better sleep. But I'm just wondering, are the garbage trucks still waking you up in the early morning? Because that was a memory I had from your earlier speech in the fall.
Well, I have to tell you, this morning, 4 o'clock, I'm like, seriously? Seriously? It was 4 o'clock when it was like minus 30 out there, so that person is really dedicated to getting that dumpster behind whatever that bar is on the corner of 3rd and Main. I'm like, whatever that, what's it? I can't remember what it's called. What is it called? Stateroom? Yeah, it ain't much of a stateroom, I can tell you that. It's, but anyway, did I say that out loud? Sorry. The answer's no. It's okay. Any other question? Thanks for that, Patrick. That's a good question. Anyone else? Yeah, Carolyn.
Will there be more information about, I don't remember who presented, about the student success coaches, so that when we're supporting students, I'm not sure the difference between that and academic advising and some of the other student support services we currently have on campus. I'm not sure.
He's nodding, so I think, yes, there'll be more information sent out.
Yes, we will have more information. It's also on Canvas, and you're always welcome to connect with either Kara or Amanda to get some additional information soon.
So those online who did not hear that, more information on Canvas. Talk to Kara and Amanda for more information. Did I get that right? Okay.
Stop by Wimberley 404.
Wimberley 404.
Thanks, Carolyn. Anyone else? All right. Well, I don't hear any more questions. So we just wanted to mention, just before I wrap things up totally, is that there is a meeting of the Faculty Senate afterwards. I believe it starts at noon. They have some important, or as soon as we exit the room, they have some important business. So for the faculty who are here, I would ask that you stay for that. Don't run out. And there are cookies that can tempt you to stay longer. So that's what I'm going to get with myself before I get out of here. But as we leave, again, I just want to say thank you. I just want to, there's two other things I do need to make sure I mention. I'm I arrived on July the 1st in my office. I think a couple of weeks later, I locked myself out the building, and I was let in. It's been a great 6 months. It's been a great 6 months because the work that you do really matters, and the way you do it is really inspirational to me. So when I go out and I talk to folks across the state, when I visit with alumni and donors in Milwaukee or in Madison, or I meet prospective students who are thinking about coming to UWL, or people in the local coffee shop, like this past weekend, I can genuinely say to them, what an amazing place this is. That the people here really care about everyone on this campus, wherever they come from, whatever walk of life they are from. Be they from a small rural area, from a large city, first-generation student. I can say that with all sincerity. I don't have to make things up. I don't have to pretend that we're good. I can say it with all sincerity. And when people come here, they see it for themselves. They see it for themselves. So the secret sauce, as I've said before, are all of you, and those of you online. But really it is. So I just want to say thank you for letting me join you and be part of this journey with you. And I'm looking forward to the next year ahead. And we can always be better. I can always do better. If you have suggestions for me, you can tell me straight to my face. And there's a few of you in here that have told me. I'm looking at a few of you right now. That's the only way you can get better. I can only promise you I'll do my best. I just ask all of you to do your best and do your work with integrity and honor, and be reminded of why we got into higher education. It's about serving others and lifting others up. Changed my life, higher education. When I went back to England, I sat in a room of people that had never been to college. My sisters, my dad, other family members. And they said to me, what do you actually do as a chancellor? I said, well, I'm still learning. But my point is, college transforms lives. Everything you do every day matters. And I just want to say thank you again. It's going to be a great semester. And enjoy the semester coming up. Thank you all, and have a wonderful rest of your day.